Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure vehicle accessory review. Today, we're going to look at the Ramen Toys Cag Set. Now this is an enhancement for your McFarlane DC Multiverse 1989 Keaton Batmobile. This is going to give you three things: a canopy with better colors, some guns that are going to be removable that'll add on top of the car, and a sort of fuel injection thing. I bought two different sets, one of which is a little more glossy, and that's for the Flash movie version of the Batmobile. Another one, a little more dull, and that's going to be for the 89 version of the Batmobile. Of course, I have both versions of the cars, so I wanted to get both enhancements. I missed out on the initial pre-orders for this thing, and they had a second wave come out, so I grabbed mine. So let's take a quick look at the packaging. This is actually, I think, the first thing I have from Ramen Toy, although I have quite a bit of stuff on pre-order from them. I believe it says Retro, Artistic, Modern, 80s, Nostalgia, Cag Set. These guys do third-party, sort of unauthorized vehicles, figures, accessories, enhancements. As you can see here, they've checked one of the two. And this one is, of course, checked the other one. Everything else is pretty blank. Only thing I see, it says designed in Singapore, made in China. So with no further ado, let's open it up and put it together. So here you have it. Here are the contents all laid out in front of you. You can definitely see the difference. This is a much glossier version. This one, a lot more flat. So let's see what we got. First of all, we have these large guns. Machine guns that come out of the top of the front of the car. Looks good. You can see the sort of bullets going to the side. Good detail on the gun. And that should just lock right on into place. No glue, no magnets, no nothing. Then we have these little sort of fuel caps, which go on either side, sort of the back of the car. And you have a little 3M command strip type thing, pull it off. It'd be adhesive. Bam, just stick it on there. And it is fairly permanent. And I really just got the set for the canopy and the guns. I didn't even realize we were going to get this. So I may or may not use it. I kind of like the Batmobile being totally black and sleek. Of course, then we have the canopy. As you can see, this one is quite shiny and glossy. It's going to be pretty much exactly the same as the other one. As I understand it, even the little button that pops it up is still going to work. Of course, this one, same thing, just a little flatter. So here are these two different Keaton Batmobiles. This one is glossier for the Flash movie, and this one a little more flat from the 89 film. Now, this enhancement pack is supposed to help enhance or correct some of the errors by the Batmobile. The biggest complaint that I've seen is going to be the fact that it's a one-seater, not a two-seater, and unfortunately nothing in this box will turn into a two-seater. It's just not that simple. I still love the car, but that is just a huge error. And I wish it wasn't the case, but it is what it is. But we can correct at least some of the other issues. So a big complaint I always see about this one, the car is super glossy, and then the top is like gray. Like the color just does not match. I'm sure you can see it. It just looks a little weird. It's a factory error because these pieces were made in different factories or different places of the factory, and it just looks really, really off. And you'll also be able to add the guns on top of here. I believe they simply just connect on top of the stuff, which is a really cool idea. And you can add the field things somewhere sort of back here, but I'm not sure if I will do that or not. And the other guy here, same kind of thing with the guns and the fuel. And the canopy here matches the car a lot more than the other one, so we'll see how it looks before and after. So let's start off with the guns. Here are the two cars with the guns attached. The guns attach very easily. It's kind of like a Lego piece, sort of clamps on. You can see the glossier version with the guns on top. The guns actually sit upright. The bullets are going off to the same side, the sort of left side of the guns. I was kind of thinking they'd both go to the outside, but no, they're the exact same gun. Like I said, you can literally just pull them off. We have this sort of vent here. And there's some sculpture pieces here that simply attach and push down. It doesn't fall off. I mean, it's not going to stay on if you hit it, but it does the job and looks pretty cool. I like the fact that they're removable without a lot of work. So we have the glossy pair, And then, of course, the regular pair as well. And I went ahead and installed little sort of gas caps. I thought to myself, let's make it as accurate as possible, even though I do kind of like the all black look to it. So just peeled off that adhesive, popped them on the back. It's about where they're supposed to be, pretty much right behind this line here. And tried to make them as symmetrical as I could. I think they came out pretty decent. And honestly, if I don't like them, you can just rip them off. But then the only option would be to perhaps glue them if you wanted to put it back on. And now for the canopies, and this is going to be the hardest part. You'll need to take each one of the cars and go to the back of the car, and you're going to have to take these screws out. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's a whole bunch of them. Some are deeper in there than others. Take the top of the car off, and then see if we can replace that canopy. Now that I've got all the screws out, they're all the same length regardless of how deep they are in there, so you don't have to keep track of it. Let's go ahead and see if we can pop off the bottom. Bam. Here's how it looks on the inside. And then here is the inside of this thing. We have this little button here. Press it in, kind of pops open the canopy. So at this point, looks like we're going to have to remove this to have access to this. So I just removed these 2 screws right here. And the whole way this works is there's this little circle here that's part of the canopy that sort of slides in and allows it to go forward and back. And when the screws came out, I can fix that easily. So just lift up enough to be able to slide the canopy outside of here and then replace a new one inside the track. Should be simple enough. Here's the old one gone. Here's the old one next to the new one. The new one seems a little bit sleeker, maybe a little bit lower, coloring much better. So let's put it back in there and put it all back together. And here's that 89 car from the Flash movie, the glossy version with the proper canopy. The color is way better. It looks much more seamless and much more accurate than this gray version. Here's a look at the Flash movie Batmobile with the old canopy. And here's a look at the Ramen Toys proper canopy on the Flash movie glossy version. Huge improvement. Not just the color, but just how sleek it is. I saw some people complaining about the gap between the canopy and the car, and it's almost non-existent. I mean, literally, I don't really see much of a gap there. Minuscule, if at all. And the button, bam, pops it right open, just like before. You can slide it forward or raise it up as well. And now to repeat those same steps with the 89 version. Here's a look at the 89 movie Batmobile with the old canopy. And here's a look at the sort of flatter 89 version with the new canopy. Although the coloring wasn't really much of a big deal before, it looks a lot sleeker. The windows are better, darker, shorter. Both are huge improvement, although the glossy Flash movie Batmobile is a bigger improvement. And here's the flatter 89 version. Once again, the gap, minuscule, barely noticeable at all. Push the button, pops it free, slide it forward. And then here's a look at both these cars with the guns, the gas caps, and the proper canopies. Huge improvement on them both. Check out a couple of action scenes. Here's the unmasked Michael Keaton Batman sitting in the Batcave, doing some research at the Batcomputer. A closer look at him, eyes glued on the screen. Both versions of Barry Allen from the Ben Affleck universe and the Keaton universe come together to the Batcave. They're looking for some help to defend against General Zod. Batman there meets them both. Do you guys need some help? Both the Barry Allens are in awe of what they're seeing. One of the Barry Allens says, you're... And Batman looks at them and says, yeah, that's right. I'm Batman. Batman gets ready to hop into the Batmobile. Canopy slides forward, preparation for him. Here's an image of Batman driving in front of a liquor store, patrolling through the streets of Gotham. Here's an aerial view of Batman driving through the streets of Gotham between a couple of buildings. And here he is, leaving Arkham Asylum, driving under the gates. Here's Batman in the Batmobile, chasing after some Joker thugs in the Joker van and some Joker cars, kind of like in the first film, although it's a little bit more in scale with the older Toy Biz version. Here's Batman in the Batcave, with a Michael Go Alfred serving him some refreshments, 1989 style, with this awesome Batmobile behind him. Here's the same image, just a little bit lighter so you can see everything going on. Now let's check it out. Next to some other vehicles, starting off with some other Flash movie vehicles. Here it is, next to the Flash movie Batcycle. And here it is, next to the Spin Masters, a 12-inch scale Batwing. This thing scales up great with your McFarlane 7-inch figures, and it's a massive, giant vehicle, very affordable price. Looking forward to McFarlane's version of the Batwing, which is going to be even bigger. These two vehicles look to both be in Keaton's armory in the Flash film. Now let's check it out. Next to some other Keaton vehicles. Here it is, next to the older Toy Biz Michael Keaton 1989 Batmobile. This is a version without the canopy by Toy Biz that I had. Now there's a nicer one that Kenner made in the Dark Knight collection with the canopy. Never had that one, neither as a kid nor an adult. This is a version that has a shield cocoon, a plastic shell that goes on top, which is really cool. Man, I hope he gets to use the shell and the shields into the new movie. That'd be awesome. Then, next to the Toy Biz Batwing from the 1989 film, I would love a 7-inch scale version of this. And here it is, next to the Kenner Batman Returns ski boat. He used this in the second film. Would also love a bigger version of this. Now let's check it out. Next to some Batman vehicles and Batmobiles from the different live-action films. Here it is, next to both the McFarlane on the left and the Mattel version of the 1966 Batmobile. In the 66 film, they use a bunch of other vehicles. They use the Batcycle, the Batboat, and the Batcopter. Here it is, next to the Batcycle by McFarlane and Hot Wheels, as well as Batboat by McFarlane. I fully expect them to eventually give us a Batcopter from that film. And here it is, next to the older Toy Biz 1989 Batmobile. Now they use the exact same Batmobile in Batman Returns, but there's a really cool one that Kenner made that turns into the Batmissile. Would love to get my hands on one of those one day. In addition to the Batmobile, he used the Batwing in the 89 film. He also used the Bat Ski Boat in Batman Returns. Here it is, next to the Kenner Batman Forever Batmobile. Batman Forever was a continuation of Batman and Batman Returns, although a lot of things look different. This Batmobile was supposed to replace that Batmobile because of the Batmissile incident, and to give it a fresh new look. Batman Forever also had the Batboat and their own version of the Batwing. And then, here it is, next to the Kenner Batman and Robin Batmobile. It replaced the Batman Forever Batmobile, which was also destroyed in that film. They also used this Bat Hammer and Ice Vehicle, among others, at the end of the film. Here's this Batmobile with 3 different versions of the Tumbler from Batman Begins. The one on the left is Super Studios, 1/12 scale, and then the 2 on the right are a couple of versions by Mattel. Also pretty nice, but 5-inch scale. In the Dark Knight trilogy, not only did they use the Tumbler, but Batman drove the Batpod. Here are 3 different Batpods by Mattel, Mafex, and SH Figure Arts. Batman also flew the Bat in The Dark Knight Rises. Here's this new Batmobile, next to the Hot Toys 1/12 scale, the Bat. Here it is, next to Mattel's basic Batman vs Superman Batmobile. This is actually the only version of the Batman vs Superman Batmobile I have in 6 or 7 scale. The only other one I'm aware of is a crazy overpriced third-party one, although I think technically it's officially licensed at this point. And even though it's nice, I can't bring myself to pay that much. But they made 3 different versions of the Batmobile from Justice League, which is the same Batmobile, but it has a cannon up top. They're all 3 by Mattel. From left to right, we have the Mattel basic version, then the Mattel DC Multiverse version, and the last one is a Mattel Ultimate DC Multiverse version that's radio controlled. In addition to Ben Affleck using the Batmobile, in Batman vs Superman, he had the Batwing. No company has made that. I would love one of those in 6-inch scale. In the film Justice League, he had a couple other vehicles, one of which was the Nightcrawler. Here's his Batmobile next to a Mattel Nightcrawler. Batman also flew the Flying Fox in Justice League. Large troop transport. Here's the Mattel version next to his Batmobile. And I don't know how many of you out there noticed, but at the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League, we had Batflag on top of the Bat Tank. Here's his Batmobile next to a custom Bat Tank. This one is actually from Batman The Dark Knight Returns. And the most recent Batmobile to be featured in a live-action Batman movie is the Batmobile from The Batman, driven by Robert Pattinson. Here's the Hot Wheels 1/10 scale version, and I'm really hoping to find the Spin Master 12-inch scale version. In addition to using the Batmobile in The Batman, he also drove the Batcycle on the left and the Drifter motorcycle on the right. These are both from McFarlane Toys. Here are my favorite of each of the different movie Batmobile releases they've made. From left to right, we have the Mattel 1966 Batmobile, then McFarlane's 1989 Batmobile from The Flash, then the Kenner Batman Forever Batmobile, then the Kenner Batman Robin Batmobile, then the Sub Studios Tumbler, and then the Mattel DC Multiverse Justice League Batmobile, and finally the Hot Wheels 1/10 scale The Batman Batmobile. Pretty nice collection here. Here's this Batmobile next to my cat Mulder. Now let's check it out next to some other McFarlane DC Multiverse Batman vehicles. Here it is next to their first vehicle, the Bat Raptor. And here it is next to both versions of the Batmobeast. Then, next to all the different Batcycles McFarlane has made. Now the next vehicle, not really sure what it's going to be, but for a while there have been rumors of a Batman Beyond Batmobile, a White Knight Batmobile, and even a Hush Batmobile. Fingers are crossed. Now let's check it out next to some other Batmobiles. This is probably the best Batmobile out there for the 6 and 7-inch scale. I'd say the biggest runner-up, or a possible competition, would be the DC Direct Batman the Animated Series Batmobile. That one looks amazing, and so does this one. That one is for 6-inch scale figures, this one for 7-inch scale. But they're both very iconic Batmobiles of the 90s. Here it is, next to both variations of the DC Direct Batman the Animated Series Batmobile. And I know it's not a Batmobile, but here it is next to the DC Direct Batwing from Batman the Animated Series. Arguably the most impressive Batman vehicle in the 6 and 7-inch scale out there. Now let's check it out next to some other Batmobiles in the 6 and 7-inch scale. And there aren't that many I haven't covered already. Here it is next to the Mattel Comic Batmobile from 2005. This is a 2-seater for 6-inch scale figures. And here it is next to a couple more Mattel 6-inch scale Batmobiles. On the left, it's Power Attack. On the right, Batman Unlimited. Then, next to a Mattel Batman Mission 6-inch scale Batmobile. And now, next to a couple of Spin Master Batmobiles. These are actually for 12-inch scale figures, but they work great for your 6 and 7-inch scale stuff. These look kind of like they're based off the White Knight. And finally, here it is next to another Spin Master 12-inch scale Batmobile. This is more of an armored version. I'm really hoping to track down the Batman 12-inch scale Spin Master Batmobile. So overall, I would say it is a worthwhile upgrade to these vehicles. The Canopy alone just makes the car look so much better. It's sleeker, it's a little more seamless the way it's supposed to be. And if you have the glossy version, man, what a difference that color does. That gray Canopy was ugly, it was disgusting. We finally have one that matches the rest of the car, which is probably not McFarlane's fault. It's a factory error, but they should have called him out on that, prevent it from happening. The guns are also very nice, and it's really cool. You don't have to take them apart to install them. I thought for some reason I was going to have to glue a magnet at the bottom and use magnets to attach those things, but no, works very good. And I have mixed feelings with the gas caps. I mean, it's more accurate, sure, but I really like the full black, sleek look of the car. The gas caps interrupt that, at least a little bit. Still, it's a really cool set. If you're on the fence about getting it, I would suggest to get it, although they are sold out again. Who knows if they're going to offer more. I can only imagine if anyone's selling these on the secondary market, they're going to ask far, far too much. It's a really good upgrade kit for your vehicle, and the price is fair. The value is there. They don't cost that much. But I give this thing 2 thumbs up. It definitely increases the car. Forget the gas caps. I mean, the guns alone being an option of putting them on or taking them off, and having an easy way to sort of just clamp them onto there. Very well done. And then the Canopy just takes the car to another level. Now, if only they had a second seat inside this box to make this a 2-seater, but I realize that is not nearly that simple. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say with the video, add it in the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure and action figure vehicle reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.